2NURFM News.
Good morning, I'm Jarrod Melmeth with your 9 o'clock news update. GPs are calling for more COVID vaccines as thousands of AstraZeneca shots sit unused in federal government-run clinics. Some Commonwealth clinics are struggling to fill 50 appointments a day, but the Royal Australian College of General Practitioners says most local doctors could vaccinate more people if they had the supply. Infectious diseases expert Professor Robert Boy says getting GPs more involved is one way to help improve the rollout.
They know how to deliver vaccine. They delivered 17 million doses of flu vaccine in 2020. So I think a combination of better organisation, better distribution, better communication, all those things will help.
The tax office is warning it will be closely monitoring expenses from people working from home. This financial year has been the first entirely within the COVID pandemic. Assistant Commissioner Tim Lowe says people copying and pasting claims from previous years will be caught out.
Last year we saw the value of car and travel expenses decrease by nearly 5.5%. We expect for that to decrease even further this year. There was a slight increase of around 2.6% in clothing expenses. We think that's mainly due to PPE.
There will be more ambulances deployed across New South Wales to help keep up with demand. Lauren Howarth reports.
The state's Industrial Relations Commission found the system is being stretched, causing wait times to blow out. It's now recommending more paramedics be rostered on at any time in order to reduce staffing shortfalls. It's understood New South Wales Ambulance has agreed to implement the changes. They'll take effect in regional areas this month and in Greater Sydney by mid-July.
Final campaigning is underway ahead of the crucial Upper Hunter by-election. Deputy Premier John Barilaro is again on the hustings this morning after spending most of the week in the region. Labor leader Jodie McKay will visit a pre-polling centre in Gloucester. We are being urged to have a think about where our tea leaves come from this International Tea Day. 95% of all tea consumed in Australia is imported. Australian Tea Cultural Society Director David Lyons says it's a product now grown up and down the East Coast.
During the 90s, in places like the Victorian Alpine region and also around the New South Wales Central Coast. So today we've got tea gardens or tea farms, as they like to call them over here, all the way along the eastern seaboard.
And briefly, the federal government is ramping up its push to make mRNA vaccines in Australia, inviting manufacturers to submit a plan for high-tech facilities. Thousands of school students will gather around the country at protests calling for more action on climate change. A new program is being launched to better protect up to 100 threatened species in Australia, and an inquiry into the infamous Princess Diana interview with Martin Bashir has found the BBC failed to meet integrity standards.
2NURFM Sport.
Newcastle Knights coach Adam O'Brien is remaining upbeat following a 36-20 defeat to the Cowboys in Townsville. The Knights came back from a 16-0 deficit to lead early in the second half, but were eventually run down in the back end of the match. Newcastle coach Adam O'Brien says his injury-hit side is going through a tough period, but they'll be better for it.
We will be better as a club for it long term, and everybody just needs to take a breath, including me. They're trying their backsides off and sometimes a little bit too hard, but all they're doing is getting kicked in the guts, and they don't need me doing it as well.
Brooks Koepka and Victor Hovland finished in a four-way share lead at the PGA Championship in South Carolina. In surfing, Margaret River champion Philippe Toledo has been knocked out of the Rottnest Island event by little-known Aussie Liam O'Brien in round of 32. And in the NBL, the Sydney Kings have gone down to the New Zealand Breakers in their return to Auckland. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM News.